Hello there, very good evening to you. Welcome to Primetime News. We are coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studio here in Colombo. I'm Stephanie Lazarus.
I'm Saturanga Puarachi. Before we go into the stories in detail, let's take a look at the headlines.
Local Government Election Act passed in Parliament. Increase in female representation. Field officers barred from contesting elections. Minister Thalathathu Korala sworn in as the new Minister of Justice. Minister Gamini Jayavikrama Perera sworn in as the new Minister of Buddha Sasana. Navy Commander vows ocean narcotic racket to be under control in a year. Fuel station in Kalagedihena on fire. Joint opposition member Sanjay Hettige pledges support to President Maithripala Sirisena.
Starting off with one of our headline-making stories, a fire erupted at a fuel station in Kalagedihena, Tambo this evening, causing considerable damage and traffic congestion.
Police say the fire erupted while fuel was being unloaded from a bowser to the fuel tanks of the petrol station. The fuel station and the bowser were severely damaged in the inferno. The fire was doused with the assistance of the Gampa Fire Brigade, police and Navy residents. However, no casualties were reported as a result of the blaze. Following the fire, major motor traffic was reported along the Colombo-Kandy main road.
2 new ministers were appointed today following the dismissal of Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa.
Thalathathu Korala was sworn in as the new Minister of Justice before President Maithripala Sirisena this morning. Gamini Jayavikrama Perera was sworn in as the new Minister of Buddha Sasana. The 2 new ministers were sworn in at an event held at the President's official residence. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe was also present at the occasion.
The Local Elections Amended Bill was passed in Parliament today with a majority of votes. 44 members of the joint opposition abstained from voting for the bill.
During the debate on the amendment bill, a dispute arose regarding one of the amendments suggested in the bill.
It says that an individual who served at a government institution attached to a provincial council will not be allowed to submit nominations until after a year has lapsed since his employment was terminated. This applies to Samurdhi officers, agrarian officers or any other local government bodies. It eliminates them from contesting in an election. This is a violation of a fundamental right.
These are the same people who tied government servants onto trees.
This bill is being brought retrospectively. The concept of a government servant was created by the founder of our party, SWRD Bandaranaike. We don't think it is right for a government which also involves the SLFP taking such steps to oppress the rights of the government servants. We call on this entire clause to be removed.
I think public servants in this country have enjoyed certain political rights in keeping with certain conditions. They want to contest an election, they must go on leave. If they are elected to public office, they must give up their public service. I think, sir, it is nothing but fair to retain that entitlement of public servants who desire to participate in a political career to be permitted.
I'll take that point. Yes, okay.
All public servants are not shut out. Not all.
Yeah, okay.
Not all. Only certain types of public servants that do field service activity, like Samurdhi people, Grama Sevakas, all public servants are not shut out. Teachers can contest.
Does the minister accept the proposals of the opposition?
We do not accept them. The chairman of the Elections Commission wanted to include all public servants in this clause, but we managed to restrict it only to field agents.
The minister says that this proposal came through the commission. However, we have not met the commission. Even when we met them, they didn't say anything in this regard. If we are to accept what the minister says, then the commission should be brought before this chamber.
Dinesh Gunawardena can have his own opinion, but as the government, based on the advice of the Elections Commissioner, we have reached these decisions.
They are calling for a vote on this amendment.
Due to the situation that transpired, the Speaker allowed a vote to take place. The electronic voting system was used for this purpose, and 4 MPs faced difficulties in using the system. Their votes were recorded by calling their name.
44 in favour, 120 against. We need to add 3 votes to this figure. There is 1 abstention. The proposal on the amendment is not passed.
Thereafter, the Speaker loved the members of Parliament to vote on the local election amendment bill.
Following the third reading of the local elections amendment bill, I wish to inform the Chamber that it has been approved. We asked for a vote on the amendment bill. We hope to abstain during the vote.
Honourable Speaker, I am unaware of the provisions, but since a vote has been requested, it is fair to grant a vote. Let's give them a vote.
Thereby, a vote was held on the third reading of the local elections amendment bill.
120 in favour, 44 abstentions. No one votes against the bill.
A media briefing was held today to clarify points on the new Local Government Elections Amendment Act passed in Parliament today.
When producing a nomination list at electorate level, 10% of the nominees should be female. We have provided the opportunity for females to enter politics. We have not made the 30% youth condition mandatory. It is up to the party whether they want to field members of the youth or senior citizens. There is an environment for an election. The playing field is set. Now you have to bat on it.
When choosing members for local government, 40% of them will be chosen through the electorate system, while 60% will be chosen through the proportionate system. One condition that was presented by the Elections Commissioner is that the ability for government servants to contest elections should be removed. All the parties discussed this matter, and this is brought down to field agents instead of all state sector employees.
What happens through this system is that members will be selected through the proportionate system. All this time, the members were chosen through this proportionate system by the preferential votes. The amount of seats a certain party receives was also decided through this same proportionate system. A receives 7, B receives 5, and C receives 3. This time, those 7 people will not be chosen through the preferential votes. How many electorates has that particular party won will be looked at when selecting them. If A party has won 6 electorates, that party will receive the 6 seats. There is one more remaining that will be provided from the list. Let's take for an example that the A party has won 10 electorates, but they have won only 7 under the proportionate system. There too, 3 will be provided from the list and they will receive all 10. We have created a pitch with a lot of spin. We have set the boundary limits. We hope the Elections Commissioner will call for the elections soon.
We are ready to play the match, but the pitch has to be prepared now. The rules and regulations have been determined, but for us to know what the rules are, the ICC has to sign it and send it to us, right? Just formulating the rules is insufficient. Now the act was passed today, and after it was signed by the Speaker, it became a law. Once this is done, we will look at the conditions, call for the players from both teams, and on the right day, we will have the toss and start the match.
Conflicting views were expressed in the political arena today regarding the no-confidence motion brought against Minister Rajitha Senaratne.
This was something that was needed. The joint opposition has signed the document saying that they have no confidence in him. It doesn't matter whether they win or not. The importance of the motion is to create awareness among the public.
Why did they lose confidence? Was it because he reduced the prices of Panadol, or is it because he dropped the prices of stents from 10,000 to 1,000? Was it because he reduced the prices of drugs? They don't speak about these accomplishments. They charge that he is privatizing higher education. Who was the first person to bring this bill into Parliament? It was Dinesh Gunawardena. People like Udaya Gamanpila are the same. We came here to highlight all of this because I am someone who faced such an issue. I don't want the same thing to happen to other ministers as well.
Vijaydas Rajapaksa was removed because all the members of the government will be implicated through the ongoing Bond Commission investigations. They conducted the parliamentary election campaign through the funds that they gathered in the first 100 days.
This no-confidence motion has been brought in by a group of thieves who turned the proceedings of Parliament into a drama. Among the people who handed in the no-confidence motion, there are murderers, false lawyers, individuals who have been called a thief by their own wives, sand thieves, and there are people who extorted money from tea companies. They are all frightened today.
We didn't bring a no-confidence motion to lose. We want to win it. Not all of the no-confidence motions that have been brought in the history of our country have succeeded. According to our laws, a person is a suspect initially. It is the court that decides whether a suspect is guilty or not. If we are suspects, let the court proceedings take place. The judiciary will act in an impartial manner. There are plenty of suspects like us in government as well.
The leader of their group, Mahinda Rajapaksa, did not endorse this. They are like squirming snakes. Vimal Weerawansa made a speech in Parliament on Vijaydas Rajapaksa. None of the UN peers objected. In the near future, there will be a number of people who will end up in Valikada. These are the same people who are speaking on behalf of Vijaydas Rajapaksa today.
3 ministers have resigned already. 2 resigned and 1 was forced out. Half of the government's tenure is over. This just shows the massive political issue that is present today.
All of them wake up in the middle of the night because of nightmares regarding all of their corrupt activities. They only remember Vijayadasa at times like this. We are working to defeat individuals who turned against the people.
The leadership of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, resignations and motions of no confidence seem to be the topics all politicians pick up these days, including Minister S.B. Disanayake at a media briefing today.
We can see clearly that the former president has included a new topic to his statements. He is saying that he is still the chairman of the party and that he did not resign. I do not know why he is making this statement. There is a debate as to whether he can make this statement. These are the pictures from the first party convention that was held in Polonnaruwa after Maithripala Sirisena became president. Mahinda Rajapaksa is seated on the seat of the advisor. We can clearly see where the president is seated. After he became president, he included these 2 lines to the party constitution because he wanted to be the chairman of the party after appointing former President Chandrika as the advisor. The line reads that if a member of the party becomes president, he becomes the chairman of the party. And he added a line to say that if a person steps down from being president, he becomes a consultant to the party.
Minister Disanayake spoke on the no-confidence motion against Minister Dr. Rajitha Senaratne.
They should have brought a no-confidence motion against me after levelling 2 of those accusations that are levelled against Rajitha. At me. Why? Because 2 of those things were done by me. I made Saitama University and I helped the construction of the hospital through President Mahinda Rajapaksa. I got large amounts of money for them through Mahinda Rajapaksa. They should have levelled those accusations at me and moved a motion of no confidence back then. But they were silent.
Minister Disanayake also spoke on the situation surrounding former Minister Vijaydas Rajapaksa.
President Maithripala Sirisena made attempts to settle this problem between Vijaydas Rajapaksa and the United National Party. I asked Vijayadasa why he went and embraced Hambantota. IT was an agreement that was very well in favour for us. I think he got entangled in this thinking it was a ploy to rescue himself. He had a different agenda.
Former chairman of the Bandaragama Pradesh Sabha, Sanjay Hettige, who was previously aligned with the joint opposition, extended his support to President Maithripala Sirisena today.
The former chairman of the Bandaragama Pradesh Sabha called on President at the President's official residence this morning. Sanjay Hettige has informed the President that he will commit to the task of taking the country towards sustainable development with the required political, social and economic transformation. Parliamentarian Theneko Vidanagamage and Minister of Uva Provincial Council Anura Vidanagamage extended their political support to the President recently. Deputy Chairman of the North Central Provincial Council Jayanta Marasinghe, who was also aligned with the joint opposition, called on the President recently to extend his support.
Civil and political activists point out that it's a grave mistake to attempt to cover wrongs by hiding behind the Mahasangha.
Members of the Mahasangha have spoken out against the removal of Vijayadasa Rajapaksa from his ministerial positions.
We
condemn this motion of no confidence brought against the Minister of Buddha Sasana.
Rajapaksa මෙතිතුමාට එරෙහිව ගේනවා නම් ඒ අපි මේ අවස්ථාවේදී හෙලා දකිනවා.
Although members of the Sangha took a stand on behalf of Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, it was this same individual who brought a proposal in 2012 to prevent members of the Sangha entering active politics. He called for the laws to be created in this regard through the 19th Amendment to the Constitution.
The deterioration of the Sangha society also affects layman society. Today we can see a decrease in the number of monks who act respectfully. Crime is on the rise. One reason is because the Sangha sets a bad example for the general public.
The final trump card of any thug is patriotism. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa brought a private members bill in 2012 in order to prevent members of the Sangha entering parliament. Ironically, he had to seek their help in order to protect his soul and in order to safeguard himself from the allegations and criticism being levelled against him.
You are watching News First. We will be back after this short commercial break.
Welcome back. You're watching Primetime News. A letter has been addressed to President Maithripala Sirisena thanking him for providing funds to renovate the golden canopy of the Temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic.
The letter bears the signatures of the Mahanayakas of the Malwatu and Asgiri chapters of the Siam sect and the Diyavadana Nilame of the temple. The letter states that trio are extremely thankful for the President making financial allocations for the renovation of the golden canopy at the Temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic.
Missing telephone conversation recordings at Perpetual Treasuries Limited raised more questions at the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. Sofiq Farzan reports on Bondgate.
Perpetual Treasuries Limited made its very first treasury bond sale to the EPF after the auction dated 27 February 2015 on the 5th of June 2015. The Chief Executive Officer of Perpetual Treasuries Limited, Kasun Palisena, stated to the Commission the sale was not direct but was done through a broker. Upon further questioning, Palisena said he would have negotiated the deal with the dealer at the Employees Provident Fund and then would have negotiated with the broker. Kasun Palisena said a broker was used to speed up the documentation process. These answers prompted the Attorney General's Department to play the telephone conversation recordings provided by PTL, which led to a startling revelation. PTL had provided a series of conversations for the 5th of June 2015 in numerical order, along with many others. It was revealed 4 conversations of this particular series are missing in the CD provided to the Commission. The Aegis Department said they cannot find the telephone conversation recording for the deal confirmation of the bond sales to the EPF. Providing an affidavit to the Commission earlier, Kasun Palisena said PTL provided all the voice recordings requested. However, missing recordings contradict that. Palisena stated under oath that he did not tamper with the system. Another phone recording dated the 2nd of December 2015 played at the Commission revealed Kasun Palisena informing his IT person that some of the outgoing numbers are not indicated in the system. Deputy Solicitor General Milinda Gunathilaka said it was clear from the conversation that caller IDs were recorded before December 2015 at PTL. An email sent out by Sachit Deva Patirana, the IT person at PTL, also revealed that caller and call number were identifiable in the system. The Aegis Department claimed Kasun Palisena's affidavit is false. The system at Perpetual Treasuries Limited is an extant voice logger with 16 ports, purchased for 466,200 rupees.
Upon a request made to the Commission by the attorneys representing the Attorney General's Department, the Commission has instructed Sachit Deva Patirana of Perpetual Treasuries, who is in charge of IT, to provide the Commission with a backup CD of the voice recording system that has been installed at Perpetual Treasuries Limited. Now, if Perpetual Treasuries Limited does not do so, the Commission has instructed that a representative from Metropolitan Communications Private Limited be permitted to access the system and that the extraction of the documents and the data can take place in the presence of a metropolitan representative. The handing over of communication devices of former governor of the central bank Arjuna Mahendran and Kasun Palisena to the CID took place today. The devices were placed in sealed containers with the Secretary of the Commission and were given to the CID for the process of extracting data in the presence of an attorney appearing for Mahendran and Palisena. The data extraction from Kasun Palisena's laptop will take place tomorrow morning, while extraction from Mahendran's devices will take place on Wednesday.
The 17th annual Construct exhibition organised by the National Construction Association of Sri Lanka was declared open today at the Sirimao Bandaranaike Memorial Exhibition Centre.
The exhibition, which brings together builders, architects, engineers, contractors, developers and many others related to the field of construction, will be open until the 27th of this month. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe was the chief guest at the event, which also featured the participation of a number of other ministers.
Since being assigned the responsibility for the construction industry by the present government, my ministry and I have launched several positive initiatives to bring the industry out of the doldrums in which it prevailed for many years. The Construction Industry Development Authority has now been made fully operational as the apex agency of the state for the regulation and the management of the industry. A new national policy on construction, prepared after exhaustive consultations with the stakeholders, has been approved by the Cabinet of Ministers on my recommendation. The people as well as the government expect much more from the construction industry than ever before. The industry has to help the national economy to recover and also has to contribute to the easing of social problems in the country.
We will build a strong economy, and that is our commitment. To build a strong economy, we need a strong private sector. We need a strong manufacturing sector. We need a strong construction sector. So we have stabilized the economy by increasing revenue and controlling expenditure. Then how do you create jobs? And that is by encouraging private investment, large-scale private investment. And we also want not only private investment, we want Sri Lankans to be competitive internationally. Go out if you are manufacturing. We will help you. We are coming up with a trade adjustment package to Inland Revenue Board, which will give good incentives for the next 3-4 years. After the incentives go away, because we want all the investments made to create the jobs in the short term. We are now signed an agreement and formed a joint venture company to run Hambantu, the Sri Lanka and China merchants, which relieved us of the debt burden. We will do a similar arrangement with some other companies that are interested for mustard. So we've taken that all those burdens out. So we want.
The third silent auction of Modern and Contemporary Art 2017 in aid of the Ceylon School for the Deaf and the Blind was held in Colombo yesterday.
The exhibition saw over 50 works of art belonging to a number of artists being displayed.
As Sri Lanka slowly graduates into a middle-income country, we need to assess and envision a program where the differently able communities too play an active and engaging role in Sri Lanka's economic activity. Education is the first step in making this possible. Whilst a small proportion of children from this community get into university, a majority of the school leavers struggle to find productive employment opportunities. We have to redouble our efforts. This comes in many folds though. Education for these children in most other countries would come, or in the developed Western countries, would come within the regular school system. and we too need to move towards that. This is a lot of work in a country like ours, but that's the commitment we have to make.
Newly appointed Navy Commander Vice Admiral Travis Sinha visited the chief prelates of the Malwathu and Askeri chapters and obtained their blessings today.
The new Navy Commander paid homage to the sacred tooth relic at the Dalada Maligawa today. The Navy Commander, who visited the chief prelate of the Askeri chapter of the CM sect, explained the future course of action to be undertaken by the Navy. He also visited the chief prelate of the Malwathu chapter and obtained his blessings.
We will be receiving another ship from India that will be commissioned next February. We will receive 3 vessels during the course of next year. Next month we will receive another vessel from India for the purposes of Coast Guard activities. We plan on commissioning more ships in order to protect our seas, and through this we will expose the might of our Navy.
The Navy has a huge responsibility when it comes to the eradication of drugs. Even yesterday the President said that he will be working in this regard. Preventing drugs coming by sea is a task entrusted with the Navy. What plans do you have in this regard?
We plan on commissioning larger vessels for this purpose. We will stop this menace. In the next 2 years, we will put a stop to this.
The Newsfirst national campaign titled Sri Lanka Against Corruption got underway today in Nuwara Eliya and Puttlam.
Locals that Newsfirst teams came across today expressed their dismay on their property being lost to the Uma Oya multi-purpose development project and the environmental destruction that it caused. Thereafter, the team proceeded to Dairaba, Puhulpala and Velimada areas to raise awareness.
The people from the Matila village had been intimidated that once the Uma Oya multi-purpose development project is complete, their lands will be converted into a forest reserve. Carry out a study and tell us whether this village will fall victims to landslides or not. They've been telling us to vacate since 2015, but where are we to go?
Another team met the masses of the Puttlam district at the Karulagasweva Community Centre.
Everyone must be nabbed and taken up before the law. If they have done wrong, they must be punished.
Well, that's a wrap of Primetime News. I'm Stephanie Lazarus.
I'm Satran Hapwarachi. Take care and good night.